Okay. So here, this is our portal. Here you can, once you will enroll for the course, we will provide learning management system. In that learning management system, you will receive recordings of your classes like this. If I talk about SQL Server, you can see if I talk about module 1, there is presentation available, recording is available, and test paper is also available. If assignment is also required, then we will attach assignment for web development. We will provide assignment as well. So there would be four section: presentation, recording, test, and assignment. Along with that, we used to post our questions in knowledge base for your practice purpose. You can go there and solve the questions. The questions will be posted on daily basis or alternate basis. So you can go there, you can visit our portal knowledge base, and you can look into the questions and solve it. So that's how we provide training, and the classes will be held as per your availability. Okay, so I'm going to pass the ball to Adi so that he can present his desktop and he will explain each and everything. And before that, can you please introduce yourself?
Yeah, myself Paramesh. I'm already working on IAS 400. I have overall 6+ years of IT experience. So I just want to make my career into the web development side. It's a very legacy technology that I'm working on currently. So I just want to move this side.
Okay, thank you for your introduction. Adi, are you there?
Yeah,
Okay, so can you please introduce yourself, Adi?
yeah. So, hi, Pamas, myself, Aditya Upadhyay. I'm here for your web development trainer, and I'm in this profile for like for past 7 to 8 years, and I have been involved with some really major big projects which are doing very well in the current scenario. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so this is it, and
Okay.
okay, so before we can jump on to the web development sessions and all that, I just wanted to have a brief brief knowledge of what are the things you are looking forward to learn in this entire session, and I mean what kind of expectation you are having, what are the things you are looking forward to learn. So just can you just let me know about all those things?
Yeah, sure, Adi. I'm looking for this complete UI development thing. See, like HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, jQuery, Bootstrap, and AngularJS.
Okay,
These are
okay,
the
great.
things that I'm looking for.
Okay, so and what your current profile? You are working as an Android developer?
No, I'm working as an AS400 professional, AS400 developer. Do you ever heard about AS400?
Yes, yes.
Yes. So I'm into that technology.
Okay, okay. Okay, no problem. So, do you only want to, move to user interface department, web development department, or you have also interest in the back end also, like handling the databases, handling the different queries, like the things which we do with the help of PHP or Python, or maybe ASP.NET. So, do you only want I mean, the user
Currently,
interface?
currently, currently, I just want to concentrate on the front end development.
Okay.
So once I'm comfortable with it, then I'll plan for that.
Okay, okay, great, great. Okay,
Mm.
so no problem. So let me just check with Dave. Hello, Dave, can you hear us?
Yes, Adi, I can hear you.
So should we go ahead with the demo classes, or there is someone else who will be joining in?
No, no, we can start the demo class.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Okay, Parmesh, so can you see my screen now?
Yeah.
Okay, okay, great. So yeah, so overall, your entire user interface session will be consist of 10 modules, 10 different modules which we will be covering on the daily basis. So on the first day we'll be covering the module 1, and on the second day we'll be covering the module 2, and so on, right? So I'm just giving you a brief, introduction of what each and every modules will be and what are the things which we'll be learning on these different modules. Now, before I get started, just let me tell you one thing, that as you can see that we only have 10 modules into this. This is because these 10 modules are only, are only consist of the user interface part and not the Angular JS part, right? But we will also be covering the Angular JS once we have completed these 10 modules. So overall, you can say that you have 10 modules for user interface, and then you have like 4 to 5 more modules for the Angular JS, right? So on the whole, we will be covering like 14 to 15 modules in the entire course of sessions, right? So let's start with the module 1. So module 1 is very basic. This will be the basic introduction, basic definition of all the things, all the terminology which we will be using in our entire course of session. Like for example, once I will be I would be letting you know what a user interface is, why a user interface is very important, how the front end and the back end communicates with each other, how the data is being shared between those two, how the server responds to the browser or to the front end, how the front end passes a request to the server end, and all that, right? So these are like basic introduction we'll be covering on module 1. Once I say the basic introduction, this is very, very important, because this will be the basic basic building block of your user interface design or your web development design.
Yes.
Because unless and until you do not know how the front end and the back end communicates, you will not be able to efficiently pass on the data to your server end once you are working on the front end, right? So
Yeah.
these are all the things which we'll be covering on module 1, and from the module 2 onwards we will be diving into the hardcore coding things, right? So module 2 onwards we will be starting with HTML. So module 2 is all about HTML, how the HTML syntax is written, how we can create a file in HTML, what are the extensions we need to use in order to create a file in HTML, what are the things or what are the conventions we need to keep in mind while creating an HTML file or while writing HTML code and all that. We'll just go through each and every part that we require while creating an HTML document or writing an HTML program. So module 2 is all about HTML. Module 3, in the module 3 onwards, we will involve CSS into it, right? So module 2 we only have HTML. In module 3 we will involve CSS. Now in CSS, just for the brief introduction, CSS is all about designing. So in HTML, you create a skeleton of your user interface. You can define the layouts, you can create the tables, you can create the headlines and all that, but you do not add designing to it. I mean, you do not add uh, colors to it, you do not add background color or animation or other part in HTML. We do that things in CSS, right? So in module 3 onwards, we will in module 4 onwards, we will be dealing with CSS, how to add a CSS in HTML. I mean, what are the different ways to add a CSS in the HTML file, how we do that. Basically there are 3 different types in which we can add a CSS in our HTML file and all that, right? And I think I just skipped module 3. In module 3 we will be covering HTML5. Now HTML5 is the advanced version of HTML. That is, the HTML is basically you can say that it's an older version which we used to write like 5 to 10 years 10 years down the line, right? So we will be covering HTML5 also, because that will, that is one of the most important thing in user interface designing, because the knowledge of HTML5 will help you to design user interfaces for mobile apps. Knowledge of HTML5 will help you to design the user interfaces of the current modern websites which are doing amazingly well in the current scenarios. And also, you can design the gaming interface in HTML5. You can design, other sorts of applications or other sorts of different types of applications interface in HTML5. So HTML5 is really very, very important when it comes to modern day user interface, right? So now, from module 5 onwards, in the module 5, we will be dealing with the advanced part of the CSS, right? So in module 4, we only be looking forward to use the basics of CSS on how to color things, how to position a particular element on a particular area in a web page. And in module 5, we will be adding an extra bit of effects or extra bit of animations to it. Now this is all about CSS3 in module 5. So module 4 is all about CSS and module 5 is all about CSS3. Now CSS3 is also the advanced version of the older CSS, or the conventional CSS which we used to write like 5 to 10 years ago. But that whole kind of CSS has been evolved, and currently we have a new brand of CSS3 which we used to write in these applications. So up till module 5, we will be handling only HTML and CSS, and from module 6 onwards, we will be start writing the codes in JavaScript and jQuery, right? So module 6, we will be covering the module 6. We will start JavaScript and jQuery side by side. Now, just to make things clear, JavaScript and jQuery are no two different languages. Instead, jQuery is just an extension of JavaScript, is just a library of a JavaScript, right? So, as it's, once I say that jQuery is the library of JavaScript, it's quite understandable that why we use a library. We use a library in order to make our work a lot more easier, right? So we use jQuery in order to write the JavaScript code or the JavaScript program in a lot more simpler manner. So usually, JavaScript is like, it's kind of complicated to write in. So that's why we bring in jQuery, which makes our entire work or the entire session a lot more easier. So from module 6 onwards, we will be seeing, we will be using JavaScript and jQuery, and in that, in module 6, we will be learning how we can create an event, how we can fire an event, what are the different types of events we have in a web page, events like mouse click, what are the things which we can do on a mouse click, what are the things which we can do once a user presses the keyboard button, and all that, right? And along with that, we'll also do the DOM manipulation in module 6. So DOM is basically stands for document object model. So you can say that it's basically a brain of the browser. It's the brain of browser. We will be manipulating those things with the help of JavaScript and jQuery. So module 6 is all about JavaScript and jQuery, and from module 7 onwards, we'll be starting Bootstrap. Now, Bootstrap is basically, it's a framework of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript combined, right? Now, why do we need a framework? Is just because, once you want to design an elegant user interface, efficient user interface, you have to, keep in mind like several other things, right? For example, you have to think about the different types of CSS properties we need to use. You have to, keep in mind about the different types of HTML you need to use and all that, right? But Bootstrap, makes all these things a lot more easier, right? And currently, like 99% of the websites out there in the world are all designed in Bootstrap, right? And just because Bootstrap is quite easy to use, as compared to the conventional HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, although we will be using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript in Bootstrap as well, but these HTML and CSS are quite easy as compared to the conventional ones, right? And we can also do the lot more complicated stuffs in like 2 to 3 line of code in Bootstrap, which we used to give like 20 to 30 line of code in the conventional HTML CSS, right?
Okay.
So, and
Right.
Bootstrap is called Twitter Bootstrap is just because that the Bootstrap framework is being developed by the Twitter guys. So that's why it's called Twitter Bootstrap. All the codes and all the updates are being maintained by the Twitter guys. So we do not have to worry about its depreciation or its out of date thing and all that. So Bootstrap is all updated, and currently, Bootstrap 4 is launched on, but we'll be covering Bootstrap 3 as the Bootstrap 4 is not yet available for the commercial use, right? So from module 8 onwards, we will be seeing the advanced version of Bootstrap, what are the advanced things we can do in Bootstrap, and also side by side we will be seeing what are how we can use different type of jQuery plugins or jQuery libraries inside our JavaScript or jQuery program, right? So as you already know, once you are writing a programming, once you're writing a program or once you are doing something, a class or maybe a library can make your work a lot more easier. So jQuery plugins are similar to those libraries or similar to those files which can make your work a lot more easier. So in module 8 we will be covering all Bootstrap, advanced version of Bootstrap, advanced version of jQuery, and how to use the jQuery plugins and jQuery libraries, right? So module 8 is all about these Bootstrap, jQuery and jQuery's UI. And from module 9 onwards, uh, we will be seeing how we can implement Ajax. Now, just to make you aware of Ajax, Ajax is one of the most important, or I can say that it's one of the building blocks which being used in the current day of user interface design. Now, Ajax is very important once it comes to efficient user interface design, because that Ajax is the things which makes your web page interactive and which allows your user to communicate with your program in a lot more easier manner, right? So AJAX basically stands for asynchronous JavaScript and XML, and we'll be using AJAX, how we can set up AJAX, what are the advantages of AJAX, and why it is very good to use AJAX over the conventional way of sending data to the server end and all that. So in module 9 we will be covering on AJAX, and along with AJAX we will also cover on Google APIs and social plugins. So now APIs is basically application program interface. Now as you are quite newbie to the development world, to the coding world, so APIs is basically if like there are several APIs out there, in the internet world. APIs is basically, if we are using a Google's API, we are basically using the Google's data inside our own program, right? So API is basically using the third party's data inside our own program, right? So we will see how we can use the API in JavaScript or jQuery, and to demonstrate our API use, we will be using Google's API, right? And after that we'll also use social plugins, like how we can create a like button, Facebook like button, Facebook share button, how we can add Facebook commenting inside our website, how we can add a Twitter tweet button, reply button, Google plus button, and all that different types of social buttons, how we can add those, we will also see in module 9, right? And from module 10 onwards, I will be giving you and me both will be working on a web project, on a website project, right? So basically module 10 is all about the evaluation part. How good you understand the entire user interface things. So I will be giving you a small project in module 10, and you have to code that particular project. You have to finish that project, and I will evaluate what are your coding standards is, and I will also let you know the areas of improvement, what are the extra things which we can do in order to improve your codes and all that, right? So once the module 10 is finished, once you have completed the project, we will then move on to AngularJS, right? And
Okay.
let me also give you a brief introduction of what AngularJS is all about. So AngularJS is basically a JavaScript framework which is being developed by Google. Its code and all that are being maintained by Google. And AngularJS is basically, it's an MVC structure. MVC stands for Model View Controller. So, in a nutshell, just for a newbie, or just for a guys who are just starting up with the user interface. So you can just imagine AngularJS as a new software architecture which is being used by JavaScript to build different softwares or the different applications, right? So for now you just know that AngularJS is a JavaScript framework developed by Google, which is being used inside your program in order to do something much more exciting, right? So yeah, so this is all about the modules, and this is all about the introductions which we will be doing in the entire course of session. So just let me know if you have any issues or if you have any doubts.
So Adi, so do you need to have any prerequisites for learning this course?
No prerequisites, just only the basic understanding of, what a browser is and what a server is. That's it.
It's fine because there are a lot of terms about Java and other stuff.
No,
So
no,
I just
no. The thing is that, usually the guys, just get afraid of the term called JavaScript. See, Java and JavaScript are there is a hell lot of difference between Java and a JavaScript, right? Java is a
okay.
high-level programming languages and JavaScript is just a scripting language. It's just because
Okay.
the term Java is being used in JavaScript, that doesn't mean that JavaScript is equivalent to Java, right? Java is a
Okay.
very high-level languages and JavaScript is a low-level scripting language.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So including AngularJS, how many hours it will take means for the complete course?
See, not we can't calculate the hours, but I can say that we will be taking around 14 or 15 sessions, maybe 14 sessions. So once I say the 14 sessions, you can say that 14 days. Now every day we will be creating the session for around 1.5 hours or maybe 2 hours, depending upon how well you can get those things. Like for example, if you are doing module 6 and you have like serious problems in JavaScript or jQuery, then we can basically extend that sessions for maybe 2 hours or 3 hours, right? So it's not there is no hurry in that. We'll just go slowly and easily, as fast as you can get the things, because completing the sessions or the completing the course is not our objective. Our main objective is that whatever we are making you learn or whatever we are teaching you, you can get those things, right? So although if you cannot get the entire thing, just get the basics, so that later on you can do something of your own, right?
Yeah, okay. And what about the practicals? See, let's say if we complete module 2 about the basic HTML thing, so
Yes.
what about the practicals and how it's
So let's say if you complete module 2 and module 3, so after the completion of 2 to 3 modules, I will be giving you a small assignments, right? So you have to like complete all those assignments, and once we connect, I'll be giving you some time period of, let's say, 3 to 4 days in order to complete those assignments. Once you complete those assignments, we will be, uh, I will be evaluating those assignments. I will be reviewing that, and if you I will be just letting you know what are the what is your coding standards and what are the areas where you can improve, what are the things which you are doing wrong and all that, right? So we will be having the assignments in between the modules. After completion of like 1 to 2 modules, I will be giving you assignments, right?
okay, fine. So no external installations are required for these kind of practicals, right?
Sorry.
So any kind of external installations are required for doing the practical stuff, or it's just that we can go ahead and do it?
No, no, no. There is no like hardcore software is being required for these practical things, this installation and all that. It's just that you need a latest browser. I think you already have a latest browser in your laptop. That's it. And
Yeah.
apart from that, you will be needing a text editor. And once we will be starting on the sessions, I will be letting you know what text editor you know. And text editor is a very light program. If you do not want to install text editor in your program, that's perfectly fine. You can go ahead with Notepad itself. You can write the code in the Notepad itself. That will also be fine. It will be run. But it's efficient to install a text editor because that makes the things quite easier. It will also tell you, where are the syntax error, what are the things which you have left and all that, right? So once we'll be starting the session, I will be letting you know which text editor you need. And for newbie, you basically go with Node++. Now Node++ is a very light text editor, but once you are on the pro level, you can use the text editors like Sublime or maybe Atom you want. But just to get started, I think Node++ would be more than enough for you.
Okay.
So yeah.
That's all from
So
my end, Adi.
okay, great.
Thank
So
you.
okay, just please wait. Let me see if Dave is still
Yeah,
in or
I
not.
am here. I am here, Daddy.
Yeah, so there we just completed the introduction of all the different types of modules which we'll be covering in,
Mm-hmm.
and along with the user interface designs and along with the 10 modules which we have in our user interface design, we'll be also covering like 4 to 5 other modules of Angular JS as well. So can all collect